Hello everyone, this is Hero. This is my SL6 New Game Plus 2 Pure Black World Tendency Melee Only No Damage run of Demon Souls. That is a fucking mouthful and I need to stop saying it every time. But here we are in Stonefang Tunnel 2-1 and you'll see I have a bloodstain here already. And the only reason, if you ever see a bloodstain and you didn't see me die there just previously in the video, that's because I've edited out a death, or I just plain didn't record my first death in the area, because sometimes I think I edited that one out because it would have just been me getting hit by the rocks that one of the enemies was throwing down from up on the top of that building, and that death I don't think is something that really enhances people's experience with the video, and it just looks kind of silly and it's a bit of a time sink, so that's why I don't really include it. But on the other hand, activating hyper mode from these guys is just, bloody exciting. So this has the potential to be, I think, one of the more the part where my run starts to get a bit more different than the old one, because I activated hyper mode in the same place, but right now I'm using a different weapon. I'm using the S-Stock, which I think at this point in time is a plus 10, but after I activate the shortcut to get to Blacksmith Head, I turn it into a Crescent Falcon immediately because... No, sorry, Crescent Falcon. So used to saying Crescent Falcon because that's what everyone fucking uses. I turned it straight into a Crescent S-Stock plus 5 because I had all the upgrade materials, because the upgrade materials for Dark Moon stuff, like the Dark Moon upgrade materials that you can get from Shrine of Storms, are so easy to get from the Crystal Lizards, especially in Pure Black World Tendency, that across my entire time, moving from 4-1 to 4-2 to 4-3 and killing all the Crystal Lizards and stuff, I managed to accumulate about 4 pure Dark Moon Stone and 30 chunks and I think 30 or 40 chunks, and pretty much maxed out the 99 in stock on hand of just the regular old shards, because every time you kill the Reaper enemies there, you also get a guaranteed shard of Dark Moonstone drop, so that's kind of helpful. And yeah, right here, this is the bit I was really scared of, because these dogs are fucking assholes, and the way to deal with them, and this is another reason why I thought that the ultimate challenge for especially no damage, melee only, no thief string, would be to not use a shield as well, because the only way I could beat them without taking any damage and melee only was to use the bitch perk behind the shield with the S-Stock. Now I've just got this fat minister to take care of, and luckily I'm a bit less suspicious of every enemy here, which can sometimes bite me in the ass, but it means I don't spend needless amounts of time going around backstabbing every single enemy here. And it may also kill some people to see that I'm not backstabbing all the people with bags here, because they tend to drop a whole lot of upgrade materials, but it's all hardstone and sharpstone, and at this point in New Game Plus 2, I flatly didn't need any more upgrade materials, so I just left them alone. And remembering my last playthrough in this area especially, I know that guy's there, and I know that he starts his attack as soon as you move near the door, so I didn't get clipped that time, so this guy just didn't get me that time, so I was happy with that. Now, skipping over the pickaxe in there, I don't even know what some of these items on the floor are, because, to be honest, for some reason, unlike in Dark Souls, these things just laying on the ground, I don't know what they are at all, and I think it's to do with the aesthetic of the glow, and I'm just taking a wrong jump here, by the way, for anyone who's just saying where the fuck are you going? I have no idea. I thought I was going the right way, but apparently I wasn't. Yeah, but the shinies on the ground, I was watching, I think, one of Warchild's videos. By the way, check out his channel. He's responsible for roughly a third of the subscribers that I have now. Check out his channel. And he said that some people hate it when people use the word shinies, and the thing that popped in my head was, dear God, why? Because the first time I heard it, I thought it was brilliant. I heard it on Seraphim17's channel. He just called and I have to go get that shiny. Literally, I think he said he missed a shiny, and it just fucking tickled me. So I've used it ever since then, and I don't really understand. Like, did people just lose their sense of humor? Like, what's wrong with saying shiny? I don't get it. But anyway, I've managed to turn the lever there, and this area is actually a lot faster for me now because I've realized that this guy is hostile and these guys aren't. So yeah, pickaxe guys. See, I said I wasn't going to kill everyone, but now I've just killed that guy, and I tried to pick up everything, but seeing as I couldn't carry much because I think I'm carrying a lot of normal throwing daggers and secret throwing daggers, because the thing with all of these items taking up weight, unlike in Dark Souls, means that, especially on a low level challenge, you tend to have a limited stock for everything you can carry. Because I initially had about 90 of the Ed's grindstones on me because I had the storm ruler, and the storm ruler literally has 10 durability. So and this is to account for the fact that it knocks people over with every single hit, it knocks people over with every horizontal strike, and that's to account for that. Don't cheese this ability sort of thing. So naturally, I was going to cheese it by keeping all the Ed's grindstones I could around. But Ed's grindstones weigh 0.3 units, and when you're carrying 90 of them around, that's a lot of Ed's grindstones. So I had to, going into this run, I had to also carry a lot of fire bombs, because you can't always go back and restock. Sometimes you can. It depends on whether the merchant feels like moving or not. And I had to carry 99 secret throwing daggers, because I had 99 on me to begin with, and 99 in Stockpile Thomas, and getting 99 secret throwing daggers was probably a bit unnecessary, because the normal throwing knives, although they are a lot weaker, they tend to they do the same thing, really. And look at this guy. I've never seen that attack before until I got killed by it, so this is why I was just waiting for him to do the normal swing and whiff completely like that one, so that I could just attack him. And I'm keeping my shield up now because I didn't know when he was going to do this move that I'd never seen before. And yeah, so I have to take care of this guy by bitch poking. I do get a lot more confident with these guys as I go on, but this is literally my first time, second time, I guess, because I died before. My second time encountering a Black Phantom miner. But the Ed's grindstones I had to put with Stockpile Thomas, because I knew I'd never need 180 of those, even though I did buy quite a lot, and I had to drop about 60, I think, because it just wouldn't fit. And secret throwing daggers I had to farm from the spies in 1.3 and 1.4 in order to get a whole stock of them, because you can't actually buy them anywhere, to my knowledge. If you can buy them somewhere, I'm going to be kicking myself, because it took me a long time to farm from those frustrating enemies. And what else? Normal throwing daggers you can buy. And what else did I have on me that weighed stuff? Soul Remains. Soul Remains weigh 0.1 as well, so if you want to keep a lot of those on hand, you have to account for their weight as well. And keeping 60 or 70 or even 90 of a particular item, again, all in your inventory when they all weigh something, even if it's only 0.1 units, on a character with base endurance, so you can only carry so much. By the way, that cut just right there was probably when I went to, that would have been when I upgraded the Crescent S-Stock, because now you'll see that I pretty much one-shot anything that I attack now. But luckily, Soul Remains are really easy to buy, and you can get them from, Grave Robber Blige in Shrine of Storms after you've saved him from the jail cell, because he'll be in the jail cell after you've completed 4-1, and while you're completing 4-1, he'll be in the jail cell and you can buy stuff from him, and then after that he'll be in the walkway through, and I died again, bloody miners, and he'll be in the walkway leading towards the the place where the Grim Reaper and a bunch of his soul buddies are standing around. That with the switch that opens another door, so you can go around, you know, the really precarious outside ledge of Shrine of Storms for part 2. Part 2 of Shrine of Storms, not as bad as I thought it would be, but still pretty bad. And he sells soul remains for, I think, 500 souls each, and souls are just not hard to come by, especially at end game. So when I was finishing off my run last time, I farmed a whole heap of souls. I think I had about 800 or 900,000 by the end, and then I just went around to pretty much every merchant I could and bought anything that I could as well. And I talked about in the last video about things that you just don't know because you haven't spent a lot of time with the game. This is a shortcut, and this is a shortcut that I didn't even know existed until just recently when I was messing around in Stonefang Tunnel, and you can just bypass all of these enemies right here. This is me, like, being all tentative and like, is this really here? Did I really, every time I've done this before, have I really just wasted ammo shooting all of these enemies? Because there's 2 Black Phantoms and there's a whole heap of the normal standard miner dudes, and I was dreading this bit for Stonefang Tunnel when I thought, oh, I'm gonna have to do this all melee, and I thought, what about that bit where all of them are tossing rocks down the middle, and like, am I gonna have to do some clever aggro drawing tricks to get some of the miners to step forward, because I know they can be hit by their own rocks, which is pretty cool. But this is me just like standing around being all scared because there's a couple of Black Phantoms and I've already made some decent progress and I don't really want to have to go back to the start, so what am I doing? God, I'm taking long. This must have been, like, I don't think it was particularly stressful, just I couldn't really believe that I'd really just be able to run past like I did now. And something that people will have to keep in mind watching this video when I say melee only and everything, I won't be killing every single enemy in every level because I feel like that's just overkill. Like, everyone knows that you can run past enemies in a Souls game. It's what people do in speedruns all the time. It's the reason speedruns are actually possible. Sorry if you heard any buzzing noises then. That was my phone going off for the first time in I think almost a week. So I'm not a phone call person, but yeah, so I had to stop my commentary then. Now these assholes, these guys with the really weird, vague jumping attacks. This is a criticism that I made in the previous run, that, you know, some enemies in this game, in fact quite a lot of the enemies in this game, have max damage attacks that go off before they've even really moved. Like their sphere of influence to damage you is longer than it looks like they can. The damage happens before it looks like they've actually moved, which is, like, I mean, if you go back and watch that footage, you can clearly see that the gecko was starting to, you know, wanting to jump and everything, and, you know, I could have reasonably been able to react to that, but there are other situations in this game where you just get clipped by what looks to be nothing when it was in fact the game suddenly deciding that this enemy's entire body, or, you know, the meter or so around them before they started to move, was in fact a hitbox that you take damage on. And that's a criticism that I have both for Demon Souls and Dark Souls, but Demon Souls especially because Demon Souls is so very fast in comparison to Dark Souls. And something that's funny, because I've gone back to Dark Souls now to try and set up my challenge run, which I put up a video recently asking people what they want to see, and I originally wanted to do like a cursed Calamity Ring or Dust Crown Ring NG+7 run with a specific class at base level, and, you know, with no damage and everything. And I thought that'd be really interesting, but, you know, after I looked at the logistics, I thought, oh shit, this is going to take a while to record, because I did my Painting Guardian run and I was worse at the game than I was afterwards, especially with my Faris, my no damage Faris one that I only put up highlights for in terms of the bosses. But it took me maybe 4 or 5 months to actually record the thing, and I honestly don't want to do anything that will take me that long to record again, because as hard as Demon Souls was, it didn't take me too long because there weren't too many obnoxious restrictions. So this is, like, I mean, this run probably took me about, I'm going to say about a week of, you know, playing every day at night for about 3 or 4 hours, and I am blessed to have that sort of time available to me, because honestly I just don't have many obligations, and that's one of the great things about being in high school, and I'm very grateful for it at the moment. But I'm going back to Dark Souls, and even like when I started playing Demon Souls, little things like how the character holds weapons two-handed with like the blade pointing down to the ground, I thought looked really funny when I came back to Demon Souls. But going back to Dark Souls now, watching the character hold a weapon in two hands, like so the blade or the end of the weapon points upwards, looks kind of strange to me now. It was this weird, like, you know, isn't that unnatural to hold that weapon that way? But I remember thinking exactly the same thing, like practically verbatim, when I looked back, when I like moved back to Demon Souls or watched some videos of it for the first time, because I thought that is a really unnatural looking way to hold a weapon. Oh, fuck me, I had to stop the recording again, because do you ever have that when you have to sneeze, and of course, you know, I don't want to sneeze on the bloody commentary, and you sneeze, and then like immediately afterwards every joint in your body just aches at once, like you're about to die. It's getting that right now. Anyway, what we've managed to do is turn the second lever in Stonefang Tunnel to get the water mill to start turning in the lava pit just off to our right now. See, now that's started, all the lava's turned to hard rock, and we can just walk over it no problem. And there was, I think I mentioned this in the last run's commentary, I'm not quite sure, but I still think it's kind of interesting, because Imaral in his New Game Plus 7 playthrough put Water Veil on his character, because his the Soul Level 1 class can use magic in this game as well, and you use Water Veil, which adds fire resistance, and I think I'm remembering I did say this last time now, and with all that fire resistance and like the Ring of Flame resistance ring as well, if you roll down onto the fire and across to the other across to the other side, you can actually like make it with just enough health to not only have survived to the other end, but to also have activated hyper mode as well. So that was really convenient for him, because he basically didn't have to do the entire second half of this level. And this was something new for the melee only run, because I couldn't take out the Fat Minister by shooting him in the leg with the lava bow while I was completely protected, so I had to chance taking him on with the S-Stock, and thankfully with the Morion blade and the Clever Rat's ring and a Crescent S-Stock plus 5, it does a fair bit of damage, and because it attacks frequently, it can, if he's not in a hyper armor attack, then it can stop him from attacking a whole lot, because there's no poise in Demon Souls, there's just hyper armor. So yeah, these idiots with the hot pokers, because these guys aren't so bad, but they're nothing on the Valley of Defilement guys with the really long spears, because with those guys they start their attack like pretty much right when you're at their range. And that's what makes them really dangerous, because if you're taking them on no damage melee only, you basically have to attack them either while they're stunned, say from a tossed firebomb, or by actually just getting lucky and ranging your S-Stock or your really long weapon just right so that you can attack them first. And this is Armor Spider. So first attempt is always a bad attempt. I always choke every single time, every boss. Except for Old Hero. I've never died against Old Hero. I think that's because I've just not bothered. I've not bothered to attack him more than once in a row, because I knew before I went into that fight the very first time I spoiled myself, I knew that if you attacked him while he was in that roaring animation, that he'd really know where you were, and that was just it. I just never did it, and that boss fight is so completely safe if you don't attack him more than once in a row that it's ridiculously easy. And right now I'm doing okay because I'm managing to dodge the little spider leg flick attacks, and I've made the mistake of moving too far because I thought the fire attack here was receding, and it really wasn't. And the S-Stock, this weapon is just, yes, yeah, I got smashed right then with the string shot because I was expecting the triple shot of fire, and especially then because I saw the fire on the front of the spider, and I thought, well, about to dodge the triple shot, and I used the triple shot timing for that, and it did not work. And I love the S-Stock, I really do. It's so powerful, and I just mistimed that dodge. It's so powerful, and it attacks really quickly, but it's so easy to miss with, it's not even funny. Now this is the successful attempt, and I think this attempt proves that sometimes, especially with Armor Spider, because I thought it was like sequence based, like after a certain number of attacks he'd lay down and basically do nothing, and at like a certain percentage of health he'd just automatically start up the fire attack. But just look at this, I've managed to already do about 2/3 of his life. Now I've done 2/3 of his life now, and he's down to about 1/8, and then just 3 more attacks, and for some reason he just never felt like giving any resistance at all. So I don't know if that was fantastic play on my part, of course, or if he was just being a bit of a bitch that night. He was just lazy and was like, alright, you've already tried me 4 or 5 times, have your win and go. Which is quite similar to the feeling of having PvP'd for most of the night, and then it's obviously like parts of the world are waking up or going to sleep, and there aren't many people on in the interim, so you just get faced against the same guy like 5 or 6 times in a row, and that means like you're both getting really used to each other, and then whenever anybody invades, and people just sort of look at each other and do like exchange gestures, and yeah, I can see why he'd be a little bit bored of fighting me. He just wants to have an excuse to turn off the game and go home. Anyway, I'm about to die, and thank you for watching. I will see you in the next episode.